Captain Panaka and the Queen have returned to Naboo. Rendezvous with Panaka and follow him to the Queen, where you'll learn Amidala's grand plan for freeing Naboo. A well-armored land speeder, the GN Speeder is used chiefly for crowd control and other non-combat situations. Although fairly slow, the GN Speeder is sturdy and reliable.
Thanks for your help, Sykes. I don't know how much longer we could have...
This is Captain Panaka of the Royal Security Forces on the RSS emergency frequency. All officers receiving this transmission are ordered to meet at Raiska Hill.
Panaka? Maybe he can get us organized.
We need to locate him first. Let's move.
Alright, so as I mentioned in the last episode, this mission is actually one of the easiest in the game, despite the fact that it comes so late. Very first thing off the bat, you're going to want to head straight in, go after all these staffs that are around. Basically, your job is just to destroy all of the enemies in the area, both the airborne ones and the ones on the ground. You just got staffs and a few other things. It doesn't matter if the farm gets blown up. Collateral damage is acceptable in this case. You basically just have to help Captain Panaka take on all the droids, destroy them, and then move on with the story. This mission is in two parts. This is the first of the two. They're both equally easy, however, as you'll see. These droids evade me for a little bit, but not for long.
Lieutenant Sykes, glad you made it. You've been well trained.
Thank you, sir. What's the plan?
The Queen has returned, and we're ready to take back Naboo. I'm bringing all the Resistance leaders to meet with her. Send your troops to the South Ridge, then follow me.
Head to the South Ridge and await further orders.
Copy that. We'll see you soon, Lieutenant.
Rejoin your forces and guard Feed's rear entrance until I give the attack signal. According to our scouts, the Trade Federation doesn't have the entrance covered, but I'm not taking any chances. If you encounter trouble, contact me on a secure emergency frequency. Good luck, Sykes.
We'll cover your back, Captain. You have my word. Captain Panaka, the rear entrance has been compromised. We've spotted a huge convoy of MTTs and AATs heading your way.
Organize your troops, Lieutenant, and intercept that convoy.
Alright, so once again it feels like we've got a mission that's been mashed up from two different missions. You have the mission where you meet up with Panaka, and now you have the mission to actually stop an enemy convoy.
This is Palmer on the Southern Ridge. We're picking up Trade Federation forces moving our way. Fast!
Alright, and that's the introduction to a character that you're going to find annoying through the last few missions of the game, Lieutenant Palmer. She is not a fun character by any means. She whines incessantly. Take out these turrets.
We need backup now! If anyone is receiving this transmission!
Hang on, Palmer. I'm on my way.
You can take out one of those bombers if you want to, but you don't have to. And then there are a couple of AATs up ahead here that you're going to want to destroy. And we're going to be getting a new vehicle very soon. Use the GN Speeder's charge laser to just wipe these guys out. Shoot down the last droid bomber and head into the hangar.
A prototype vehicle, seldom used by the RSF, the Naboo bomber combines deadly Nubian technology with Naboo space frame design. The heavily armored vehicle carries devastating energy bombs for air-to-ground combat, while standard laser cannons allow the pilot to engage airborne threats. A rare sight in the skies above Naboo, the bomber is nonetheless an important component in the Naboo's fight against the Trade Federation.
Now, the bomber is a very interesting subject because even though it is the slowest vehicle in the game, it is actually a tad more maneuverable than the police cruiser, and it packs a much greater punch, even because it does have the basic laser cannons that the police cruiser and one both do, though it fires slightly slower. But it does carry, instead of missiles or torpedoes, proton bombs, which are by far the most powerful secondary weapon in this game. I'm going to show them off quite well here. This vehicle is not necessarily comparable to the Y-Wing. It flies slower than the Y-Wing does, and it makes a much larger target. But unlike the Y-Wing and Rogue Squadron, your bombs actually regenerate slowly over time. Even which makes up for the fact that you have a maximum of only 6. So basically your mission is going to be to follow this convoy down the valley, destroying it and the Trade Federation bases that you go past.
The Trade Federation Air Base is preparing to launch an air attack. Stop them.
Which there's a lot of them, so you're going to have to stay on your toes. Now, the bomber does not have an onboard astromech droid, which is one thing that the Y-Wing definitely has over it. And now you can see I'm out of shields, I'm out of bombs. One bomb regenerates just in time for me to get killed. Now, I did mention that this mission was incredibly easy, and it is. The problem is that, well, the Naboo bomber just isn't a very good vehicle. It's not as bad as the police cruiser, but it just in general is not very good. The bombs are most excellent. They can take down an AAT in one attack, but the bomber itself lacks the speed, and you just get so few bombs that make this mission much more of a struggle than it should be. Thankfully, though, at least it can still use its lasers with somewhat effectiveness, unlike the Y-Wing, which relies almost entirely on its bombs. And also, the anti-air defenses here are rather pathetic, so you can afford to just sweep back and forth across the convoy, destroying things with your lasers as you go, as opposed to trying to head it off with bombs or wait for the bombs to recharge before you come back and attack, whatever the case is.
Lieutenant, we've spotted a bridge ahead of the Trade Federation forces. We're planting thermal detonators to destroy it, but you need to slow down that convoy.
Lieutenant, watch those pinnacles in Widow's Valley. They're unstable.
So the general idea of this mission, what you're supposed to do, is that there's these pillars here, and then there's a bridge later on that you can destroy with the bomber to slow down and eventually destroy the convoy without actually blowing the entirety of it up. However, if you're a good enough pilot, you can destroy every vehicle in the convoy before they even reach the last pillar, even with just using the bomber. With a later upgrade for a different ship, this mission becomes almost trivial, by far the easiest gold medal to get in this entire game. Right now, though, it takes a bit longer than it should, simply through the limitations of the vehicle that we're flying as. You can see there's some airborne mines, there are some turrets, but really there's nothing to pose a threat to us at this point. Because it is so slow, the Naboo bomber actually makes an excellent air-to-ground attack vehicle, because you can just sit slightly out of the range of any ground vehicle or even turret and destroy it before it even has a chance to fire back. If you bring down these pillars, they do slow down the MTTs and AATs slightly by forcing them to turn. The bridge was just up ahead of us there, but as I mentioned, you can actually completely avoid having to use the bridge.
But good work, Lieutenant. If that convoy had reached the city, we'd be finished. We have a speeder waiting for you at the south gate. Meet us there.
And that's it, the easiest mission in the game. You can see I just barely missed out on getting a gold simply because I died and my accuracy wasn't as good as it could have been. But as I mentioned, this is by far the easiest gold in the game to get, provided you use another upgrade with a different ship later on. Yes, it's by far the easiest gold in this game to get, and the next mission is not going to be nearly this easy. They gave us a breather, next time we won't be so lucky.